Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here, and guess what? I've been tagged. This is a video. They're doing this thing. It's the horror tag, and basically there's a small series of questions, and goes around. You get tagged. You do the video, and then you tag some other people. And I want to thank Lori Holt for tagging me. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. Alrighty, and I'm gonna do the questions first, and then I'm gonna drop my tags at the end. So. The first question is, how old was you when you saw your first horror movie? 4 or 5, I'm guessing. And thing is, I clearly remember watching The Shining, but I know I've seen Jaws before that even. Like, I always credit Shining as the first movie, but I know I saw Jaws before that because I had this weird fear of Jaws. I told this story before, but I'll tell it again. When I was a kid, I don't know how it happened, but for some reason, I got Jaws and Raising Arizona confused. I don't mean by plot, obviously, but for some reason, if you would have asked, a 4-year-old Phantom, do you want to see Raising Arizona? I was like, no! Because that was the movie with the shark. It wasn't, but for some reason, I thought that. And literally steer cleared of Raising Arizona for like the first 10 years of my life because I thought it was Jaws. I know, that sounds retarded as hell, but that's the truth. But I'll say my age is probably about 4 or 5, probably. I can remember 5-ish, I guess, watching The Shining, but I know somehow Jaws crept in there early on. What is my favorite subgenre of horror? Slasher. Fucking slasher. Good old-fashioned, just give me a killer with a mask and a knife and I'm happy. No storyline, no plot, just give me a bunch of kids hanging out in a house and have a killer go through and butcher them. I'm good with it. My favorite all-time horror film and why? Halloween, the first one. Man, why? Because the weird thing is, when I was younger, part 4 was my favorite. And I liked 1. In fact, 1 actually scared the hell out of me as a kid. Like, it's a scary movie. Like, even now, I can watch it, and it's not scary to me now, but I can watch it, I can still see that it's a scarier movie. Because it's all suspense. Like, Carpenter just crafted it so perfectly. And I think that's why it's my favorite, is because, whereas 4 is a very fine movie, and it's great, but 1 is just perfect. Like, they're literally, like, even with some flaws, and there are flaws that you can point out, it don't matter, because it's still a perfect movie. Yes, the trees are all green, and it's supposed to be, Halloween. It's supposed to be October. And yes, we got some leaves on the ground that are different colors, but then, of course, the trees are bright. It don't matter. Perfect movie. The fact that, a young, Michael Myers wearing his mask, and you get the POV shot of him, like, this tall, killing his sister. Looking at the butcher knife as he's killing his sister. Like, I don't know who does that. Doesn't matter. Perfect movie. I mean, that's just how it goes. So, I think that's really what it is for me more than anything else. It's just the fact that not only is it just scary, and it scared me as a kid, but as an adult, when I watch it, it's like, in all honesty, it's like attending a film school watching that movie. Because, it shows you what you can accomplish with no money. With no money at all. And the fact that it's still effective and still considered by almost everybody to be the best of the franchise today, that says a lot right there. So, multiple reasons why it's my favorite, but that's going to be the one I stick with, I guess. So, my favorite horror actor. Someone who just exclusively does, or mostly does horror. I'm going to have to say Christopher Lee. And I know that doesn't seem like a generic, but in all honesty, huge fan of the Hammer, movies he did. And not just Dracula, but the other ones he appeared in. Big fan of, and then he's one of those guys who did transcend and went to other stuff and still knocked it out of the park. And, Wicker Man, I think, is still probably my favorite performance by him. It's just great. So, yeah, I'm going to say Christopher Lee. Vincent Price is a close second there. Bruce Campbell's great, but really, I haven't seen him do anything other than the cameos he's done with, Sam Raimi movies. He did Congo, and then, of course, watching him in the Evil Dead trilogy. I know he does a lot more, like straight-to-video junk. I have not seen any of it. That's sad to say, but I haven't. So he's definitely one of my favorites, but I feel like I need to pick someone who's I've seen more of, and I'll go Christopher Lee on that one. Best horror director, John Carpenter. I don't know what happened to his gift. He was awesome at one point, and now he just kind of sucks. But you can't take that away. He's still still the best. Favorite horror ending? The original Black Christmas. Fucking love the way it ends, because it ends, and you can pick it apart, I guess. Like, why they leave her alone in the house, but whatever. They think they got the killer. They killer taken care of, killed, whatever. The ambulance and the house is so busy, and of course the camera's right there on everything. And then as everybody's leaving, like everybody's doing their job, sort of, but everybody's got something to do, but they forget about the girl, and they all fucking leave, and the camera's backing up, and as it's backing up, the phone's ringing, and just keeps ringing, and as it goes up, you see they left the girl who's been wrapped in the fucking saran wrap or the whatever plastic wrap upstairs. She's still upstairs. They haven't even discovered her yet. They didn't discover. I can't remember the house mother's name, but they're both up there. They're dead, and it's such a bleak kind of, I don't know. And I love that movie anyway. It's a great movie, regardless. But I love that ending. Like that ending just sticks with me. Just brilliant. Favorite what horror TV series have I watched? Man, I know there's a huge amount going on right now. Like there's literally. The cup is overfulleth right now, runneth over, whatever you want to call it, of horror, and I haven't watched hardly any of it. Like, I've seen the first season of Walking Dead, and I liked it, but that was it. We do plan on watching. We're getting caught up. So I'm just going to go old school on this one. Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt. X-Files, but not really. I mean, they had a couple episodes that did just go strictly horror. And of course, it pleases genre fans, so that's why you can kind of go with that. Man, The Veil, old Boris Karloff show, that was great. One Step Beyond, Outer Limits. And then I cheated a little bit. I looked at the shelf. The Hammer House of Horror show they had going on for a while. I watched True Blood. I just couldn't get into it. I'm sorry. I apologize for it. It's a shitty fucking show. First season was okay. Like, I let it slide. I was like, it ain't bad. This is watchable. And it was. Season 1's watchable. And it just progressively gets worse from there. Like, I don't know. We got season 3 down, and I'm just, I can't do it. Just can't fucking do it. So, but yeah, I do plan on, I think we're going to end up hitting the American Horror Story first. I think it's going to be the first thing we hit. And I know everybody's like, you don't have to watch it, in order. But I feel like you have to. Like, I have to. Even if it is a different fucking story each season, I want to watch it from season 1. I want to see how the show progresses as a show, not as a story arc. I want to see, But that's just me. What horror comics have I read? Very little. In fact, there's a time when I was going to get hardcore into it because every movie has a horror series, like a comic book series. And I hear some great things. I've yet to. The only one I've read was Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, and fucking loved it. And then Simon, my buddy, he has part 2, and he let me borrow it, and I read it, and it was really good too. So I read that whole thing right there. Haven't went beyond that though. I did read the Death Ship, it's something like that, and basically it was the journey on the boat. In the Dracula movies or Nosferatu or whatever, there's always this boat trip from Transylvania to whatever, London or sometimes, it doesn't matter. But it's always a boat trip. And it's always, it leaves dock, there's a full crew and people on board, and then when it gets there, it's completely wiped out. Sometimes Renfield's on it, sometimes he's not. But either way, it's, and this one covers that 2-3 month, ship, that voyage to hell that took place. And I always wondered, I always wanted to see something like that, and then they did a comic about it. And it was pretty good, I liked it. But beyond that, no, I haven't read a whole lot of the comics. How many horror films do I own? Fuck, I forgot about this one. I was going to write this down. Fuck. I don't know. I don't know. We'll say over 300. That's just a guess. I may have more, may have less. That seems about right, if I had to guess. I got over 1,100 DVDs. And the biggest majority of them is horror. Shit, sorry. My plan was to make it natural. I was like, I'm going to come off the top of my head with every one of these. There is no answers on this. These are just the questions. And I was like, I'll just, And that was the one I was going to look up before I came sit down. And then I was like, I forgot. So, sorry. The worst horror film that I have watched and why. Man, the one that really sticks out, because I've seen some shitty horror films, but the one that really sticks out as just being a complete waste of my fucking time was When a Stranger Calls, the remake. Now, the original wasn't that great. The original was just okay at best. It had a really strong opening, and everybody remembers that opening. And they're like, you know what? Why waste everybody's time? We all know what they want to see. There's a killer in the house, even though it ripped it off of fucking Black Christmas. Whatever. We're going to give them that. We're going to stretch out that opening 15 to 90 minutes. And it's going to be a great time. No, it was sucked. It was just fucking horrible. And you know, I mean, I can go on a crazy rant here. That would take 20 minutes. I recommend checking out the video. I did a video, I reviewed it, and it's just me hating all over it. But, yeah, I definitely had it more in my mind then. It was garbage. It wasn't scary. Horrible directing. The look of the film was shit. The fact that it was like cheap cinematography or cheap lighting. Like literally, she had every light in the house on, and yet it was the darkest fucking. You know, like every hallway was dark. And I'm like, really? I don't know. Every time the killer would pop up, once again, being in a brightly lit room, but his face is darked out. It was just bullshit like that. Yeah. What is the sickest horror movie I've ever seen? Sickest. I guess I'll have to go Serbian film. I haven't seen Human Centipede yet. I know, right? It's on Netflix. No excuse, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to say Serbian film. Now, I'm not saying like I was grossed out. Like I was like, oh my god. But see, I don't get grossed out or disturbed by horror films. Like, I can differentiate real life and horror film, you know. Not to say there ain't moments in horror that make you go, ah, shit. Because it does. I mean, you get any kind of, like, eyeball play or testicle play, or you get any kind of, like, you know, the Achilles heel sliced open. Yeah, I will cringe every fucking time. But, you know, I'm not just like, ugh, I'm not losing my lunch over or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess Serbian film, and I just remember when I first watched it, I liked it. I mean, I know it gets a lot of hate, and everybody's like, it's overhyped and everything else, and I thought it was a good film. I liked it. I'll use the quote film loosely, or the term film loosely. But I didn't realize how maybe disturbed I was until I'm explaining this movie to other people. Because I'm explaining it like it's just like this regular movie I watch. Like almost like I'm explaining the rule, or you know, the plot, the hocus pocus. I'm just like, Serbian film, you know, blah blah blah. And they're just kind of like, what the fuck are you watching? And I'm like, nah, that's not. It's a movie. Don't worry about it. But then as I'm going further into it, because anybody who's seen it, you know, you get to the end of it, you're like, holy shit. But I still didn't have. I was just like, And I remember actually, this is probably why it's a good thing I don't have kids. Misery Black wanted to borrow it, and you know she's 16 now. She was probably, I don't know, 14, 13. I don't know when the fuck I watched it. I got it 2 years ago. So she had to be 14. It doesn't matter what age she was. She shouldn't have watched it. But I was just like, yeah, sure, it's a movie. Here, watch it. Didn't think nothing of it. And then like her dad calls me and he's just like, what the fuck did you let my kid? I'm like, whoa, hey. To me, it was just a movie. And no, it wasn't. And yeah. So I'll say Serbian film. That's what I'll go with. What horror film besides your favorite would you recommend to others? Man, there's so many. I guess I'll go with maybe one that people haven't seen, and it's an older one. See, it's one of those that I feel like it's underrated, but the people who do talk about it give it high marks. So I mean, it's kind of a weird. And I mentioned it several times on the show. Carnival of Souls, the original. That movie it's so well done. It's another one of those films like there was no money. Like there was no money. Like people are literally just showing up, working for free probably, and it's great. Like it looks great. The atmosphere is creepy as fuck, and because it bombed horribly or whatever, the guy never went on to do anything else. Like, I don't think anybody really did much beyond that. I think the girl maybe did a couple movies after that, but for the most part, it just faded away and did not get its due until years later. And then it just kind of faded away again. Like right now, no one really gives a shit about it. But I think it's great. It's black and white. That usually turns a lot of people off. Like anybody I talk to about it, I'm like, Carnival Souls, and they're like, that sounds pretty cool, you know? And I show them the DVD, and they're like, huh. They flip it over, it's like, oh, that black and white? Yep, nope, not watching it. Take it back. I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, I think people should watch. I think more people should watch that. So, all right. What are my opinions on horror remakes? That's the thing. It's so easy for me to shit on remakes. But here's the thing: remakes have been around fucking ever. Now, maybe not at the high output that they're at right now, but we've been remaking shit since cinema started. Like I mentioned before, I've been on a big silent horror movie kick. I mean before, as in a few videos ago. And like I've already seen like 4 or 5 versions of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, all from the silent movie era. Like they're just like cranking it out. You know, everybody has their own spin on it, and they're not much different from each other. So I mean, remakes been around forever. My big problem is, I would always much rather see a sequel to something than a remake. Because, granted, let's face it, in Hollywood, everybody's in it for the money, alright? It's a sad truth. It just is. This is why a lot of the big ones are like all low budget and almost independent, because they did it for the passion of the movie, as opposed to like just trying to make a buck off of it. That's the difference between A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, which was a film of love and passion. Everybody had this, you know, to the remake. They're like, yeah, nah, fuck it. We love the original. We can make money off of it. Let's just sequel it or remake it. That's the difference between the, you know. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to really drag Rob Zombie's Halloween into it. I do like Rob Zombie's Halloween, but let's face it, the studio said okay to that instead of a sequel, because they're like, yeah, fuck it. Rob Zombie just did great. Devil's Rejects. It's a name. It's a name that everybody recognizes. Money. And that's the problem with it. Everybody wants to do remakes for the money. Now, I'm not naive. I know they all do it for the money, but at the same time, just as me, I tend not to want to watch them. And I do eventually watch some of them at some point, just because I'm doing the show right here. But in all honesty, like half of like Poltergeist, I will probably not watch Poltergeist for a long time, just because, why do I need to? I already know the story. I don't think they're going to add anything new to it. Now, if I feel like they're going to actually do something different, I'm in. Rob Zombie, you know, he added some different elements. He added his own style to it. To me, that's why that remake worked. At least, you know, in my opinion, it worked. Whereas everybody else just kind of just does the same thing. Like Nightmare on Elm Street, there was nothing really new to that. There was no different style to that. It was garbage, just straight up shit. I don't know. It's just one of those things where, you know, some movies are great as remakes, but you'll notice the ones that are great are usually completely reimagined. The Fly. The Thing. You know, these are 2 remakes that, when you compare them to the originals, are fairly different. They have some similar themes, but for the most part, they did their own fucking thing with them. That's what remakes should be. They should just take a movie, like if someone's like, we're going to remake Scream, everybody would fucking groan and be like, oh, Scream. And you know what the problem would be? It's because everybody would be right, because they would literally just remake it. They would just carbon copy that motherfucker, instead of just doing something completely different. Which is probably why, in all honesty, I give the TV series a lot of shit, because A, it's a TV series, and B, it's on fucking MTV. But in all honesty, if they would took that series and made it a movie, like a new Scream, like a film, with that look, and whatever storyline they got going on, I'd be okay with it, because I'm like, at least they're doing something a little different. It's not a complete carbon copy of the original. So that's my whole thing. If you're going to remake something, you know, put your own twist on it. Put your own unique spin on it. Don't just fucking churn out the same bullshit we've already seen, because now you're just wasting my time. Fucking Psycho, anybody? So, yeah. I'm okay with remakes, but just fucking remake it. Don't copy it. That's my main thing. Sorry, I went on a rant there. And finally, if I could pick one horror film to watch in the cinema, which film would it be? The original Halloween. I've never had the pleasure. In fact, I haven't seen a whole lot of vintage cinema in the theaters. There's you know, Night of the Living Dead. I'd love to see that up on the big screen. I did see The Shining a couple years back, and it was fucking amazing. And I just watched it like a couple weeks before I watched it in the theater, because I didn't know I was going to watch it. It was a gift. Someone's like, hey, I got a present, got tickets to go see, you know, The Shining. I was like, alright, cool. And still amazing. Like, you know, that's just one of my favorite movies anyways. But if I had to pick one, it'd be Halloween. I would love. And the thing is, there's a drive-in it's a good little drive. I ain't gonna pretend like it's close. I mean, it's a good drive away, but they play it, every year. And I've yet to make the trip down there. One reason is my car is shit. Like, I can't leave my car, like, radio on, which is generally how drive-ins work, because you got to pick up the station. Unless it's one of those old school ones that have the speakers that come in, which I'd prefer that. But the drive-in we got here in town, it's one where you got to tune your radio station to a certain, whatever, and you get to hear sound. However, my car just won't handle it. Like, it'll just drain the battery and die quickly. So that's one reason I haven't went to the drive-in. But for the most part, yeah, I would love to see Halloween up on a big screen. In fact, when I used to work at the local theater here, it was 2007 when Rob Zombie's Halloween came out. I was like, we should do a double feature, and contacted whatever company it was that they had the prints and everything. Got a pricing. Had everything kind of set up ready to go, so I presented to the manager. I was like, here, we should do a double feature, and here's all the people, I even polled some of the people, customers, and had kind of, I'm not going to say everybody was like, let's do it, but, a vast majority that I did talk to, who seemed like my crowd, was all for it. So I was like, here's the numbers, like, it will work out, we can make money on this. And the boss was just a dude, he's like, no, I don't want to deal with it. So, never got a chance. Now, I'm not going to lie, the only reason I offered to do that, and I've offered to do other vintage friends, because I just wanted to see them up on the big screen. I didn't give a fuck if they made money or not. I just wanted to see them. I know I'm selfish, but whatever. However, that was my one shot to see it, for free up on the big screen, but I didn't get a chance to do this. But yeah, that's mine right there. So there it is. That's the horror tag. Those are the questions right there. So here comes the part now where I got to tag some people to have you do it. So here, I'm just going to throw the list out there. And once again, if I don't mention your name and you still want to do it, by all means, go for it. It's all good. But I just grabbed a quick list. I didn't want to make a massive thing right here. Warren Cocking. Rhine 1988. Sarah Pullin. I want to see a video, Sarah. Come on, do a video for me. Todd, All Things Horror. The Omen. And the guys from Torture Vision. So, come on, guys. Play ball with us. Come on. Don't drop it on us. Do a video response. Come back to this video. Drop the link down below. I want to see you guys do it. Yeah, you've been tagged. So, all right. You guys have a good one.